When I moved into the apartment, the landlord gave me one piece of advice. Whatever you do, don't go downstairs after midnight. I laughed. He didn't. The building was old, but the rent was cheap, and I needed somewhere quickly. The first few nights were uneventful. Then I started hearing knocking. 3 knocks. Always from beneath my bedroom floor. Knock. 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 At first, I assumed it was the pipes. Then I realized something. There was no apartment beneath mine. The landlord had told me the basement was sealed off years ago after a flood. I asked him about the knocking. He stared at me for a few seconds. Then he said, "You haven't answered it, have you?" I didn't know what he meant. Until that night. 3 knocks came from beneath my bed. I froze. Then 3 more. Knock. 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 I don't know why I did it. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I was annoyed. But I knocked back. 3 times. The response came immediately. 6 knocks. Then 12. Then 24. Something beneath the floor was copying me. Except it was getting faster. I grabbed my phone and ran into the hallway. That's when I noticed every apartment door on my floor was open. Every single one. And from behind each doorway came the same sound. 3 knocks. I called the landlord. He answered on the first ring. "Listen carefully," he said. "Don't look through the peephole." I asked him why. He didn't answer. Then I heard something outside my apartment. Slow footsteps. They stopped directly in front of my door. I instinctively looked toward the peephole, and then remembered his warning. So I didn't. Instead, I listened. A voice whispered from the hallway. It sounded exactly like mine. "Please open the door." I backed away. The voice repeated itself. "Please open the door." Then it laughed. My laugh. I stayed awake until sunrise. When I finally opened the door, the hallway was empty. But there was something written on the floor outside my apartment. 3 words. "Thank you for answering." I moved out that afternoon. I've never been back. But last week, I received a letter from the landlord. There was no return address. Inside was a single photograph. It showed my old apartment building. The picture had clearly been taken from underground. And there, beneath my old bedroom, was another apartment. The lights were on. And someone was standing at the window, wearing my clothes. My grandfather kept one photograph hidden in his bedroom. I found it after his funeral. It showed my grandfather standing outside his childhood home with his parents. There was something strange about it, though. A woman stood behind them. She was partially hidden by the doorway. I assumed she was a relative. So I asked my father. He went completely silent. Then he took the photograph from my hands. "Where did you find this?" "In Grandpa's room." He stared at the woman. Then he turned the photograph face down. "Don't worry about her." That was all he said. Naturally, I became obsessed. I asked my aunt. She refused to talk about it. My uncle told me it was probably a trick of the light. Eventually, my father admitted that the woman had appeared in photographs for generations. The oldest picture was from 1924. The woman was there. Same dress. Same face. Same expression. And she never seemed to age. My father told me the family had a rule. If you ever saw her in a photograph, you were never supposed to take another picture of yourself. I thought it was ridiculous. Until I took a selfie that night. I was sitting on my bed. Nothing unusual. Except when I looked at the picture, the woman was standing behind me. I nearly dropped my phone. She wasn't actually in the room. I checked. Nothing. I took another picture. She was closer. Another. Closer. I deleted every photograph. Then I stopped taking pictures altogether. For 3 days, nothing happened. On the 4th night, I received a message from my father. It contained a photograph. No text. Just a picture of my childhood home. My bedroom window was visible. And standing behind the glass was the woman. I called him immediately. He didn't answer. I called again. Nothing. Then my phone buzzed. Another message. Another photograph. This time it showed my father. He was sitting at his kitchen table. The woman stood behind him. Then another photograph arrived. My father was asleep. The woman was standing beside his bed. Then another. My father was gone. The woman was sitting in his chair. I drove to his house. He wasn't there. The police searched the property. Nothing. No signs of a struggle. No body. Just one photograph sitting on his kitchen table. It showed me standing in that exact room. I was holding the photograph. And behind me, the woman was smiling. I haven't taken another photograph since. But sometimes I see her anyway. In mirrors. In dark windows. In the reflection of my phone screen. And yesterday, I noticed something that scares me more than anything else. She isn't standing behind me anymore. She's standing beside me. And she's getting closer. I worked the night shift driving a taxi for almost 11 years. You get used to strange passengers. Drunks. People having affairs. People who don't want to go home. But there was one passenger I never understood. She always appeared at exactly 2:17 in the morning. Same street. Same address. Same destination. The first time, I thought nothing of it. She got into the back seat and gave me an address across town. She barely spoke. When we arrived, she handed me cash and walked toward the front door. I drove away. The next night, she was there again. Same time. Same place. Same destination. This continued for weeks. Eventually, I asked her why she went there every night. She stared at me through the rearview mirror. I don't go there. I laughed. You literally just gave me the address. She shook her head. I go home. That bothered me. I stopped asking questions. Then one night, I noticed something. The address she gave me didn't exist. There was an empty lot where the house should have been. I pulled over. Where are we going? She pointed toward the lot. My house. There isn't a house here. She looked confused. Then she whispered. There used to be. I turned around. The back seat was empty. I checked the doors. Locked. I checked the mirror. Nothing. Then I heard knocking. 3 knocks. From the trunk. I drove straight to the police station. They opened the trunk. There was nothing inside. After that, I quit. I didn't drive another night shift. 6 months later, I received a letter from the taxi company. They were cleaning out old records. One of the employees had found an accident report from 15 years earlier. A taxi had crashed into an empty lot. The driver died instantly. So did the passenger. The passenger's name was the woman I'd been driving. The report included her photograph. I recognized her immediately. I also recognized something else. The accident had happened at exactly 2:17 in the morning. I've never driven at night since. But sometimes, when I'm sitting in my car during the evening, I hear someone get into the back seat. The doors remain locked. The seat sinks down anyway. And a woman's voice whispers, "Take me home." I always turn around. There's never anyone there. But the meter always turns on. And the destination is always the same. The empty lot.